The great Australian bush, the sights, the sounds, the smells. It's so evocative for all of us. But the bush is also full of information that can help us learn about the land and the way nature works.
This is the sugar ants. They come out 4 days before rain and they start to build the mound, and the height of the mound will tell you exactly, or almost, how heavy the rain is going to be.
So the higher the mound, the more rain's going to come.
You got it. These little black ants, Costa, will tell you the direction that the rain is coming from. And about 4 days before rain, again, they start to build up the mounds around their nest. And the high side of the mound, as you can see there, is the direction that the rain is coming from.
I'm visiting the wonderful showcase of native plants at the Australian Botanic Garden at Mount Annan in Sydney's southwestern outskirts. I'm here to learn about this environment.
This acacia decurrens, for instance, it flowered very early this year and now it's preparing for a second flowering.
Frances Bodkin, known to most as Aunty Fran, is an environmental scientist, botanist, climatologist and author. A Dharawal woman, she's an education officer here at the gardens.
This place was called Yandelara traditionally. It means the land of peace between peoples. It was a place where laws were made. People came down from as far north as Cairns in Queensland, from as far south as Adelaide in South Australia. The laws were made which were common to everybody, but when the peoples came, they also brought with them plants so that the next generation would come and they would have their own food. And one of the strange things was that a lot of the early botanists wrote about these disjunct communities of plants, plants that didn't belong here, and they wondered why. And of course, one of them was the BUNYA pine, which is not supposed to grow here.
Yeah.
And yet it was here. Hey, Costa, come and have a look at this. Come on.
Fran's on a mission. This is going to be interesting. What is it?
Ah, look, my favourite creatures, the meat ants.
Meat ants?
Can you see those white stones on the nest?
Yep.
Okay. They started to gather them and put them on their nest in preparation for bushfires.
So that's a signal?
That's a signal that there's possibility of bushfires. The time goes on, they start doing this about 4 moons before the bushfires are due to occur.
So with that number of white stones on there, is it time to panic?
Not yet, but it is time to prepare and keep an eye on the nest. But if you get a lot more white stones, then it's time to get out.
When she was young, Fran's mother and grandmother told her Dharawal stories.
Mum and Grandma, great-grandma, initially used to bring me down here, then Mum used to bring me down here. And we'd go up onto the summit and she'd tell me the stories, tell me about the laws and that. She made me promise to look after this place and make sure that it was always safe. And I found out that this was going to go under housing development. And I thought, oh no, we can't have that. And so started lobbying and politicking. National parks didn't want it because it was too small. And then Neville Wran got the bright idea of making it a botanic gardens because of the disjunct communities, which is exactly what it should have been, because the plants now represent all of the peoples of this country.
From all around?
Yeah.
This is the Sydney flannel flower, or Actinotus helianthi. It plays a part in one of Fran's traditional stories.
Actually, the story of a time when children learned to walk without having seen the sun. They became sickly. The sun was blotted out for a very long time, and the plants hadn't flowered. I'd always assumed that it was a story of climate change or mini ice age or something like that. A young girl decided to try and fix it. So she lit a fire to warm it. And the ice started to melt, and the melted water went into the soil, and pretty soon a little plant grew, and the plant was covered in fur to keep it warm. and then the flower came open, and she knew that the land was healing. She learned from the land, and that is the whole thing. You learn from the land and you return to the land that knowledge. And I was telling this story one day to a group of scientists. A couple of them came up and said, "Hey, we know something about this." And I thought, "Oh yeah." What had happened was that a volcano had exploded in New Zealand 74,000 years ago and had actually blotted out the sun of the southern hemisphere for quite a long time. And this was the story that covered that volcanic explosion. The wonderful thing is that this is marrying our two sciences together, the Aboriginal science of observation and experience over thousands upon thousands of years, and the modern day science, which is the past couple of thousand years, and of experiment and measurement. So now we have a continuum rather than just a little bit of the start in modern times.
So Auntie Fran, in sharing your stories, you're really honouring your mother and your grandmother.
Yes, I am. I'm honouring them, but I also feel that I am honouring our culture, and we are allowing it to continue, and I think we all can learn from it.